Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another weekly edition of Timeout Talks, which is brought to you by Chase and Throws Custom T-shirts and accessories, and is also sponsored by the Ice Shaker, the only bottle you'll ever need. Go buy your custom Timeout Talks apparel via www.chaseandthrows.com and purchase your Ice Shakers at www.iceshaker.com. We are also sponsored by Make It Mac, so we do custom timeout talks apparel through Make It Mac as well. The website, as I've mentioned, should be up and running soon. But let's get off and running here. We've got so much to cover, as we do every week. It's crazy. We only see you guys once a week, so a lot has happened. We will definitely get to the FIFA World Cup. That'll be kind of in the middle of our show. We'll kick things off with UFC 282. I want to hear Ben's thoughts, your guys' thoughts. A lot of mixed emotions from that card this weekend. I know I've got some personal feelings about that as well. Of course, we'll talk about the Steelers. We'll talk about the Patriots. We'll talk about the Cowboys comeback. Maybe dive a little bit into that. And we'll also get to our Week 15 predictions. Ben, it is insane that we're already Week 15. Like, that's insane to say. I feel like the season just started, but a lot to kind of get off on running with. And what better way than to get things running off with 282, Ben? Pretty good card, but I know some people had some gripes, but overall, it was all right, I thought, as a casual, someone trying to get into the sport.
Yeah, definitely, Josh. I mean, had some good fights all throughout it, and and that controversy at the end. I know that's where you're going at. That's what you're leading up to. Josh is teasing it right now, but I mean, just overall good card, just to get a couple of guys like me and Josh always mentioned, and we're just getting into it. I've been watching pretty consistently, so I'm starting to get familiarized with the sport. But me and Josh still pretty new with this and everything. But another good card just for all us newbies to get into, showing us some good. Card is the youngest fighter ever, UFC history. He put on a show. Raul Rojas got a nice little rear naked. I think it was a crank choke or something. I forget the terminology. Like I said, we're just watching. We're not the experts. We're just watching for fun too. But it was some kind of choke that just had this guy. He was dominating the whole time. Like I said, Jay Perrin. Hey, kudos to these UFC guys. They can beat me up, but that guy's just here to move these fighters along. He's just kind of a placeholder fighter. Everyone knew Jay wasn't going to win, but Rahul showed out, and that's scary that he's an 18-year-old. So everybody remember that name going forward. But Josh, it was disappointing. I mean, not really for me. I did have Paddy the Baddy. I took him betting wise, so that was good. It helped me out, but I thought we were dead. I didn't think you won that one at all. I'm going to come in here, Josh. I don't know. Jared Gordon controlled that fight. 6 minutes plus of ground control. It's just, I don't really know a round where Paddy won. I know we got more significant strikes. I know we obviously put some more volume out there. But I mean, Jared Gordon kind of just controlled the whole fight, made him do whatever he wanted to do. Paddy kind of had a little onslaught at the end. He kind of got some nice shots in at the end of round 3 to kind of get that snippet strike up. Well, I was pretty nervous, and I thought, I didn't see a unanimous decision. I believe that's what it was. I wanted to double check that, but that kind of shocked me. So I was a little suspicious of that one. Let's just say that I didn't know about all that one. We'll obviously get to the main card to a draw. I thought that was a little more fair in that one. I mean, Jan won the first 3 rounds, but obviously, I don't even want to Ankalov. I don't want to butcher his whole name, but killed him in the last 2 rounds. We'll get to that one in a little, but Paddy the Baddy, I love him. I love his, persona and everything, but he didn't win that one, Josh. I'm just going to come out here and say it. I did not think he won that one. And Bryce Mitchell, sorry for that pick, everybody. Tapora just beat him up. That was a bad one. That was on me, but we're gonna have to watch out for that one. That guy's Tapora, butchering his name too. We're gonna have to watch out for him as he's undefeated still.
Yeah, Ben, kind of a lot to intake here. The card, I thought, like, in terms of, like, again, I'm a casual. I know guys. I know Jan because we've, I always butcher his last name. I know him. He put on a great fight against Adesanya way back when. Yeah, Jared Gordon. I thought he had a great little intro. The Stevie Nicks
Yeah.
intro. I thought that was better than Patty's. Whatever, stupid little thing.
Oh,
But
I
yeah, Ben, to your point, I thought Gordon. I thought Dana White said it perfectly. I thought Gordon won the fight. I thought he won the first two rounds. Round three, whatever. But I think the biggest point of that was to Dana White's point. And he was very upset. I watched a little bit of the interview after. Just a horrible game plan for Gordon going into game three, going into round three. He seemed kind of gassed. It was just kind of a weird end to the fight, kind of a weird card in general. But yeah, Patty, just watching the fight, I know DC right off rip was talking about Patty's issue with his hands, keeping his hands way too low. I will say one thing though, he's got a pretty strong jaw. I've seen him get clipped a couple times in that fight, Ben. But overall, I know you're all in on him. I know Dave Portnoy. I know, I think it was Rogan or Anik was saying, something about him. The Sean O'Malley's, the Adesanyas, the Conor McGregor's, the Patties, like something about their aura kind of like elevates them, and it's like kind of must-see TV. I think he has that. I don't think he stands a chance against a top-ranked fighter, Ben. I'm not just kind of jumping on the downhill bandwagon because that's a cool thing to do. I seen what I had to see, and I think it's just a case of somebody who, besides Gordon, this was the fight that, obviously I thought he lost, but, it was just a case of kind of beating up on no-named guys. Hate to do that, but yeah, I don't think he has a chance. I recently just found out that he's in the division with guys like Gaethje, Chandler, Poirier, Oliveira. I mean, he would get annihilated by any of those guys, in my opinion. Does have a strong chin, I will say that, but again, are we going to throw a parade for that? And just to kind of gloss over the whole card as well, I thought the end, I agree with you. I could see kind of the draw towards the end. Again, a weird thing. I know Dana White was very infuriated. Me too as well. But I'm thinking, as a casual fan, I want to see more than just grappling. But it wasn't even really grappling. There was a lot of cage holding going on in that last fight. Again, I can kind of understand that split. However, the Patty one, I thought that was just terrible, terrible look. I know one of the judges, I believe I heard this in an Xbox party, and I actually checked up on it, and it was true. One of the judges who was obviously does the scoring, had done a Bellator fight the night before, because these judges are outside of the UFC. They're not UFC judges. So maybe some people saying maybe he was, lost his sleep. However you want to look at it. But, yeah, just very disappointed in that fight, Ben. And I thought it wasn't that great of a look for the UFC. And I think Dana White knows that. After the post-conference thing, he did not seem thrilled about that and was just going on and on about how, I know Ankalaev said he's, like, all set. There was rumors about that. Dana White didn't want to hear it. He also hated the Gordon and Patty Pimblett finish. I did, too. Just a weird spot moving forward, Ben. And I called it as a casual during the fight. I said, hey, I feel like that Darren Till fight kind of gets the fight of the night. And it did. But overall, kind of an underwhelming card for a lot of star power, I guess. Yeah, just a weird finish. The last two fights of the nights were, when I say fight of the night, I mean like legit fights on the card were just very underwhelming, Ben.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for that. Darren Till one too, Josh. I totally forgot about that one. How could I? Dricus, Duplessis. That was the fight of the night. Those guys just going at it. Darren Till making a little return back to UFC, and he didn't disappoint. That one was great to watch. But like you said, yeah. I mean, I'm with Dana and the frustration. Dana's been one to just want to clear up all this stuff, and I'm surprised Dana to come to Jared's defense. Dana's more of he likes to see the fights not really go that way. He likes to see knockouts and some of these crazy finishes, and not like guy like work like Jared, just get him on the ground and just grinding him the whole time. So that was cool to see the Dana defending his guy like that. And yeah, I mean, I gotta agree with him on that one, and you just gotta have a winner on the other one. I know it's it was really close one. I know. I mean, Jan basically broke his leg. You can make an argument he won the first three rounds, but Ankalaev just pretty much took him to town the last 2 rounds, just dominated him. It's just like how much do you weigh those? So it's just getting to the question of how you judge UFC. I think they're gonna have to take a look at themselves just as a whole and see, hey, like, how are we supposed to really judge these cards? Because you can't keep having these weird decisions that even everyone's just kind of making fun of and critiquing. And happened during a couple weeks ago, or a couple months ago, I should say, with Josh Emmett and Calvin Qatar, Cater, I should say, however you want to pronounce it. Massachusetts resident, so shout out to him. But he lost the first 3 rounds and just dominated like on club. In the last 2, I thought he had it, and they gave it to Josh Emmett. So you really never know how these judges are going to sort of call these ones. It's just kind of human nature. I kind of like it. Sometimes for UFC, kind of makes it a little more interesting as a sport, but sometimes to get these events and these fights that kind of just leave you wondering what's going on. We need a winner, and some of these decisions did not make sense. But overall, good card, I think. I'm just going to have to back you up on that. I'm going to back you up on that Patty point, Josh. I'm backing off a little of the hype train. I'm backing up a little on it. Like you said, some of these guys in lightweight, he just can't compete with. He's sort of got that star factor now with like the, Sugar Sean, the Izzy's. He's got that name. People want to go watch him, but I just don't think he's at their level right now. Just watching that fight, I just don't think he can take anybody in that one. I got to see him, because this was his first real test. And, this was not a good look for his first test. And I just want to see another fight with him. Have a little better of a decision, Josh, maybe better of a win coming his way.
And 100% I agree. And I know you had talked about previously, the previous months, the UFC getting under scrutiny. This reminds me so much of, and I know this is a totally different thing, but it reminds me of the O'Malley fight with Peter Yan in a way. O'Malley showed out way more, I thought. And I didn't watch that live. That was during the Yankees game, whatever, when I went down to New York. But again, a lot of people felt that Jan should have won that fight, but because of the name of Sean O'Malley and the Sugar Sean and the rise and, the first ranked fight, some people were feeling, oh, that's why he won. I will say O'Malley put on way more of a fight than Patty did, and it was more like, I feel like you could make the argument more for O'Malley winning that one, but it reminds me of that, Ben. It's kind of a weird look, 2 big name guys, or guys trying to be big names, kind of breaking onto the scene, kind of catching the people's attention, having wins that were kind of questioned. So I'm very interested in seeing moving forward, Dana's like how he like the format of the cards. And it's funny too, like I honestly don't have a problem, and I say this very loosely, I am a casual fan, but I don't have a problem with the grappling. I don't have a problem with the fact that, the guys want to hang on the cage and stuff like that. Sometimes I like that more than just the strikers, but again, I think the decisions of who should win was a little flawed, Ben, to your point. But yep, again, moving forward, we've got some good little cards coming up in months to come. So just want to start things off with some UFC. And again, I'm just gonna leave it with the note of I think Patty should have lost that one. And moving forward, I think James hit it on the nail here. I want to see what your just closing thoughts. He thinks moving forward now, you might see a little shift in the narrative. A lot of people were for Patty, pro Patty. They had the wigs and everything. Now people might be kind of against him. He's showing up to the... I know this is like what people love about him too, like showing up, drinking Cokes after the fight and gaining like 40 pounds of belly weight. But I do think James makes a very intriguing point with the fact of Patty kind of being a bad guy now. Not really a bad guy, but like people kind of feeling wrongly of the Gordon fight and the fact that Gordon should have won and Patty was kind of handed that. Maybe that kind of triggers a little bit of a narrative for people to root against Patty. But as you mentioned, very interested in seeing what's next for him. And if he fights a ranked fighter, I'm putting my money down on the ranked fighter. Put that in the parlay as a lock. Complete different situation than O'Malley. I know people questioned O'Malley, but at least he showed out. I didn't think Patty showed out at all. And maybe I'm a hater, but decent card, Ben.
Back me up on that parlay too, Josh. I'm out on it too. I'm not gonna go on there. I think that's just a good point you brought up too. It's just shifting the tide. Like I said, it's UFC. It's just kind of obviously it's not WWE, but it's got some of the same elements. You're gonna have those heroes and villains, and like I said, it's kind of shifting into that villain territory. I could see him going down there. Because yeah, I'm not gonna back him anymore. I'm not backing him after that performance. When you get a decision like that, like you said, people think you get it handed to you. So now I definitely think we could see that little shift. I'm definitely going to be a part of it because he's going to prove it to me now. He got robbed. He got handed that one, I should say. Gordon got robbed of that one. And I want to see, like you said, let's just see him against a ranked fighter now. I guess like I just mentioned the other one, that was his first test. I guess they think he passed it. So let's see him against a real fighter. That would be interesting. And I think that would just draw a lot of eyes. And like you said, now we might see him maybe be a little plus money, maybe not these big favorites anymore. Maybe we'll see a little closer odds right there. People just want to see a little something different, but I am off the hype train a little, Josh. I'm stepping back. Someone else can take my spot. But yeah, and Bryce Mitchell too. That one's tough. I'm all on this Taporia guy. That guy was legit. So watch out for him. And this lightweight heavyweight fight now, the new lightweight title, like Josh was mentioning a lot of Dana White press conference stuff too. I think right after he announced Glover's share will fight Jamal Hill for that title. Watch out for Jamal Hill. That's my guy. I think he's going to be the new champ. That's going to be an exciting fight. So just watch. I believe that's in February. So that should decide. Because that last fight, Josh, was for the championship. That decides who the champion is, and the end of the draw, it's kind of a little strange, a little tough for people buying that pay-per-view, I would say. If you get the whole main event and it's a draw, a little tough. But that championship will be decided in February. Watch out for Jamal Hill. That guy is a beast.
And I completely forgot that. Yeah, he mentioned it literally on the interview right after. He was just like, yep, that's going to be for the title. Like, he was all set with that fight that he had just watched. Yep, so that'll be an interesting one. I believe, is that the one in London? I know there's a big one in London coming up. Or they were like previewing. I could have sworn I seen it was like UFC. They're going to London. But yeah, you can, I don't know. Somebody can maybe back me up on that one. But kind of switching gears here, Ben. Interesting World Cup day today. We'll start off with this. No hard feelings. Argentina 3-0, annihilating Croatia. We've seen Messi just putting on an absolute show. Penalty kick, setting up teammates, making defenders dance a little bit. They're looking promising. They've booked their ticket, punched their ticket into the FIFA World Cup finals. They will wait to see who the winner is decided between France and Morocco. Just an absolute amazing last weekend of soccer between the Netherlands and Argentina game. Insane on penalties. And then on the other side, right next to that, the Croatia and Brazil game, insane on penalties. Wanted to throw that one out there as well. France and England, that put on a show. That lived up to the hype. Harry Kane missing a penalty, hitting one. All the dramatics there. And, of course, Morocco, tip of the cap to them. Excellent game. Just played very well. Never folded, never cracked under the pressure. So tip of the cap to them. Very young team. Wish them the best of luck tomorrow versus France. That'll be an interesting one as well. And just an interesting fact here from Morocco. 1 goal was conceded in the whole World Cup, and it was an own goal. Pretty much. Was credited as an own goal. So I know Zach saying Portugal got robbed. We got Jared in here, Messi to go. Jared coming in off Twitch. I love it. Love when we get the Twitch viewers.
Yeah, let's get that Twitch going.
But I'll let you go in a second, Ben. I've had a lot to say with this. Like I said, yeah, I want to start off on the right foot here saying credit to Morocco. Very defensive team, Ben. Portugal owned possession, still just couldn't get it done. I thought the announcer worded it perfectly. You could just see the frustration boiling over for Portugal, kind of getting in their head. So many chances, couldn't get it done. And I think the biggest story of them all is that could be the last time we see Ronaldo competing in World Cup contention. Painful for me to see. Made a little Facebook post on it. Again, just tip of the cap to Morocco. I think the game plan was executed perfectly. Just handle it on defense, lock down, kind of force Ronaldo to kind of get some looks, and on the breaks, they took advantage of that. Just all it takes is that one little mistake and move the tempo up pretty quick, and they were able to kind of get that header in. So, but I'll wrap it up with this. Zach saying Ronaldo is playing in the next World Cup. Josh, believe me when I say it. I don't think so. I think he will be in the Euro 2024. I think that's it. We've already seen him kind of be benched. We've seen him kind of regress in front of our own eyes. I will say one thing, though. I do believe Santos should have started him in that game. Once he came in, you started to see the chances go up. I think that was kind of just playing with fire, being fancy, made the nice move. Ramos got the hat trick against Switzerland. They kind of felt better. I seen a post that said, they beat down on a very average team in Switzerland. Then they go to play a very defensive-minded team like Morocco. Of course, you got to start, if not one of the best goal scorer in the world historically. They didn't do that. So, but Portugal bows out, and I'm just going to finish it off with I bow my head to Ronaldo. He's been absolutely unbelievable. I've watched him since I was a little boy, Ben. I remember being in middle school when they thrashed Japan. It was like 7-0 or something like that. Ronaldo had a hat trick. I had my little Ronaldo shirt. It was like literally from Portugal, the Azores. My grandfather got it for me. It had like Ronaldo's like face on it. And when he was number 17, people forget about that. So definitely a tough pill to swallow, Ben. He got me into the sport and put Portugal on the map. But moving forward, you've got to appreciate what Morocco was able to do.
Right, perfectly said, Josh. We gotta let Josh get it's his team. We gotta let Josh say it's Portugal. I mean, you couldn't say more truer things. I mean, so much has happened since last week in just soccer and just sports. Morocco, we gave him a little credit during that, but we should have probably given him a little more. I didn't see that coming, I'm not gonna lie. Scooby coming in there, of course. Scooby got some soccer stuff. Wasn't expecting him to do that. Here we go, Scooby. But no, same. How long before that Portugal coach gets fired? I don't know. But I'm gonna have to back up Josh on that one a little. He definitely should have been in there a little sooner. I wouldn't say start him. Let's see, ride the hot hand. But obviously, the Swiss. That's like I said, it's an average team. They don't have too many explosive guys over there. They got Ebola. It's pretty much their only goal scorer. They got Xhaka. That's their only really solid midfield guy, and that's about it. They got some solid defense. But yeah, this is a very average team. Then explosive team like Portugal, they can exploit that easily with or without Ronaldo. They got so much depth and talent there. So I would have liked, I'm fine with that decision. Start the young guys out there. Let's see how we can go against this team. But as you mentioned, very defensive team. You got to realize that you got to make a switch a little sooner. You got to, especially when they get that header. A little weird goal, from Morocco, but it's the World Cup. You got to get it how you get it. So you capitalize on that. I would like to see Ronaldo go in a little sooner after that. But you got to, just hats off to them. Morocco finishing one of the crazy. The furthest an African nation has gone in the World Cup, so shout out to them for that. Just incredible to see. I'm probably gonna say it's gonna end. France is pretty good. France is just dominating, just cruising right now. It's really just cruising to an Argentina-France final, which would be pretty epic. I think obviously Argentina-Morocco doesn't have the same ring to it, but I think this will be a very good one. But watch out for that one. But just want to give a shout out to Morocco, give credit to them. Nice little team they got over there, Ziyech. Shout out to him. I remember him, little Chelsea guy. So he's been solid for them. They got a couple of the good Premier League players in La Liga, so they got some talent over there. But Sack going in there too. Let's go. Fire the coach. Everyone's firing that Portugal coach. But Josh hit on it too. I want to watch the Netherlands game, the Netherlands-Argentina game. Best game of the World Cup so far. in Argentina. I thought they were going to blow it. I didn't really like how they were attacking the refs either, Josh. I thought we were going to PKs the way they were attacking them that early, and just going after them after the regulation time, but it was overtime too. So I don't know why they were getting on the ref's case that early. I don't know what they were doing there, but just an epic game going to pens. Shout out to Argentina, and it's just got to be tough for Josh and those Ronaldo fans here. Messi was just putting on a show today. I just gotta give him credit. Hey, credit's where it's due. Like I said, I'm never taking sides in this. We know where Josh stands in this Messi Ronaldo debate. I'm never taking sides. Both are great. I got no allegiances. I'm an Arsenal fan, so I don't go over to that La Liga stuff. Even though I'd probably go Madrid. I like Atletico Madrid probably out of all three of those guys over there. But Messi just put on a show today. I just want to shout out Argentina too. I mean, Argentina's looking poised to win this all. They just dominate Croatia today. Very good Croatia team, very mature, defensive minded like Morocco, but they got some talent up there with Modric, Perisic. So it was crazy to see them get dominated like that. Messi just put on a show, goal, assist. That was a PK, but he's going to vary it. So just great World Cup so far, Josh. I got Argentina. Listen, I told everybody, listen, those were one of my picks, Josh. One of my three picks. I had Argentina, Belgium, and Brazil. Belgium was my cool pick if you wanted to make some money. Argentina was unsure when I kind of made that after the first couple games. And then my lock was Brazil. So sorry for that Brazil one. Where's Lewis now? Lewis was always backing up Brazil. Lewis not backing up Brazil now. It's tough to see. And Josh, I just want to come back to that. UFC 283 will be in Brazil, not London. So that should be. They got three Brazilian fighters leading off that card. Just going back to that one real quick. That Glover Teixeira one. So we'll be in Brazil, not London, but they will be going back to London soon enough. Great environment over there. Great venue.
To know, I do kind of remember seeing something about that. We've got Zach. I hope when they fire the coach, the guy who has the power has his two fingers on the lips, then says you're fired. That's funny. Zach sent the ultimate promo audio the other day, Saturday, when they lost. I knew exactly what Zach's talking about. The Portuguese coach, when I think it's Bruno Santos. When he's walking back and forth, he's always going like this. He's thinking about what he's going to do. And I agree with Zach. He's too much thinking and not much doing. I 100% agreed with Zach. After the 31st minute when they scored or whatever it was, it's like, put in Ronaldo. And when you see Ronaldo come in, you saw immediately the chances. Like, obviously he's not the same player, but like he draws attention to the team. Whatever. That's beyond me. But Ben, I think I'm all in on France. I'm all in on Mbappe. And it's not because like I have this like I have no ill feeling towards Morocco. I agree with you. I like the story. It would be kind of cool to see them win it all, especially after they beat Portugal. It'd make me feel a little bit better. But I'm all in on Mbappe. His favorite player growing up, guess who it was? It was Ronaldo. I'm fine with him getting 2 rings. It calms down that situation. If he's the greatest player of all time when it's all said and done, whatever. I'm all in. I love Pogba. I like Griezmann. These are guys I've always backed up. So whatever. I'm all in on them. I'd like to see France win it. It'd be cool if Griezmann would get a goal too at the end. I like him a lot. He was one of my favorite like soccer players anyways. But yeah, Ben, I thought this World Cup's lived up to the hype very much so. Like you said, if it has a France-Argentina finish at the end, that's great as well. And I'm blanking on one thing. Oh, one thing. Scooby saying he's taking the underdog plus 650. Got to take Morocco. That'd be an interesting one to kind of do. Just throw some money on there to win. But one thing I completely forgot to say. My club for soccer, I roll with my grandfather. We go all the way to Portugal. I got the Sporting Soccer Club. Shout out to, quick little fun fact here. Bruno Fernandes and Ronaldo both started out playing for Sporting. So that's my team. I know Zach's a Benfica guy, but just had to throw that one out there. But pretty good World Cup. I got France winning it all. So just want to throw that one in there as well, Ben.
Josh, with the soccer knowledge sporting right there. Hey, yeah, they're a factory. They produce
Or
some good
ding,
talent
let's
over
go.
there. Benfica too. We mentioned them as we were doing our research on Giancarlo Romas and one of the players over there. They make Benfica make some nice deep runs in the Champions League too. But Sporting always produces some good talent. And Scooby, we want a solid England joke in there. I don't want that to go unnoticed, Scooby. Solid little England joke right there for us. I saw that one. We were going to get to it, and I love Scooby seeing get him in this soccer conversation. And we will do the same coverage for the rugby 2023. Don't worry, Scooby. We will get that in there. Gonna need you maybe the comments, maybe a little more during some of that, maybe sort of help out the conversations. But we'll give it some coverage too. Come on, we got you.
Yeah, definitely, Scooby. We'll get in there. I don't know too much. We talk a little bit about it.
I was about to say, yeah, we talk.
We try to dabble. We try to dabble. We're going to switch gears here. We're going to get to the NFL. Let's start some stuff off here with some recap, Ben. We had another interesting week in football. You know, you've seen another star quarterback go down last night, Kyler Murray. We saw the Cowboys come back electric. We've seen the Lions just rattle off wins. They're climbing up the leaderboard in the hunt, 6-7. Massive game this week, Lions versus Jets. Very interested in seeing that one. Huge playoff implications for both teams. When I say huge, I mean that. I think those are two teams on the same level as well. Eagles are rolling. Cannot downplay them anymore. I'm not doing the upset against them anymore unless it's my Cowboys. Jaguars stun. Patrick Mahomes flashes. Brady looking like trash. But I think the biggest story here, Ben, or at least in my mind, Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, torn ACL, done. You knew immediately when you saw it. Opening series of the game last night. You know, kind of hyperextended his knee, non-contact, just didn't look right, and it's tough. It's a tough situation if you're an Arizona Cardinals fan. It's a tough situation if you're Kyler Murray, and it's a tough situation if you're Cliff Kingsbury. You just paid him a lot of money. He's got a lot of injury concerns, and clearly your quarterback's coming off a torn ACL. We see Michael Gallup having issues coming back from the ACL. We've seen Odell, not the same explosiveness. I know some guys kind of bounce back, but it's a weird direction for the Arizona Cardinals, Ben. I know that's kind of not on everyone's mind because they're 4-9 right now at the moment, but I don't know. That's just a storyline that sticks out to me. I mean, it's tough time to be a Cardinals fan.
Yeah, perfectly said, Josh. And that perfectly said with the Brady too. Brady stinks. Don't know what that was. That was pretty rough. But no, it could be that Sanford D. That Sanford D is a lead. Obviously, is that we're just kidding with Brady, but he's got to call it. He's got to call it sooner than later, Josh. Let's just get this over with. That team is looking tough. But just want to get back to that card. I just want to put that in there real quick. This is just another blow, the latest blow for them. Josh, they just haven't had any luck this season. Tough to be that Cardinals fan, like you said. D-Hop, Hollywood Brown, who was in this? Yeah, Kyler Murray, and I believe James Conner all haven't played in the same game this year once. They haven't played once this year. Obviously, you know, the D-Hop 6-game suspension, you know, put a hinder on that, but nobody was expecting everybody to get hurt. You know, we were expecting to have this offense ready to go by week 7, and then we were talking about, let's see, you know, how much time they can make up. But they just never got on the same footing this year. It's so tough to see. I'll be looking forward to seeing them next year. People forget Rondell Moore still on there too. Rondell Moore's been hurt. But that stat was just pretty much for those 4. But throw him in the mix too. So we're just interested to see them get healthy, but just not their year, Josh. They just got crippled with injuries. Just tough to see your team just overcome that. And this was not subpar NFC West, you know, but the Seahawks are, you know, we didn't see the Seahawks doing this, and this obviously the Niners losing Jimmy G. There was a shot for the Cardinals. There was a slim shot, but this Kyler Murray news just pretty much shut it all down. Tough to see for him and Cardinals fans. But I think best news for them right now, best plan, I should say, is just get healthy. Just get healthy. Get ready for the next year. This season's over. Get healthy. They're gonna have a solid pick. Mock drafts coming out here.
I was gonna say,
Uh,
nice draft
yeah,
pick.
we know draft pick. You go over there. Listen, we got that division is still open next year. You can see Stafford coming off an injury. Cooper Cup obviously coming off that injury. The Rams just getting a little older. That offensive line stinks. Seahawks surging this year. Will they be able to keep it up? I like them, but um, that division's still up for grabs. I'm blanking on that fourth team. I don't know why I can't think of the fourth team. 49ers, Rams. I thought I said Rams, Cardinals, 49ers. Yeah, no, I said
Seahawks, Rams,
yes,
49ers,
yeah.
Cardinals, Seahawks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
there you go.
yeah, I got it. I thought I was blank and I was panicking. I was like, "Ooh, what did I forget there?" Uh, but division's still open for them for next year. So, just get healthy, get ready for next year. And I just want to bring up the mock drafts too, Josh. Eagles got the fifth pick. I know you just mentioned them; they're surging right now. They look dominant. Josh said he's finally admitting that, but I've been on that train for a while. We know why Josh is admitting it, and that's what fandom's called. He can't admit that, so gotta respect Josh for that. But even him being the Cowboys fan, he's even saying it right now. This team's they're just too good. AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, with Jalen Hurts throwing the way he is. Um, I didn't think he'd become a passer like this early. He's just already proven everybody wrong. And that run game's unstoppable. Miles Sanders, Boston Scott, Kenneth Gainwell, Jalen Hurts too. So, and they're projected to get Bijan Robinson, the Texas right back, with the fifth pick. So that would just be, I don't know what that offense would look like next year. I don't know who's stopping that offense if they are able to get that pick. So we'll monitor that going forward. But the Eagles are just looking dangerous, Josh. Just wanted to touch on that one too. And Brady stinks as usual. Let's go. We got to keep jumping on that.
And thanks, Zach, for that. You handed the Eagles a draft pick. Just thanks for that. But yeah, because that's the Saints' first round pick. Yeah, a couple other storylines too. We got Jared coming in here, and I kind of mentioned it a little bit. The Lions, are they gonna? Jared saying Lions gonna sneak into the playoffs? Maybe. It's going to be very interesting. I think it maybe comes down to kind of like the Giants, Commanders, Seahawks, Lions, like all those teams I feel like are in the same range. Commanders and Giants playing again this week, second time of the year. They tied the first game, so this game is very important because one team's going to have the advantage either way because they didn't, they're not going to finish the series tied. So that's an interesting game to kind of point out. A lot of like low key storylines this week in the NFL. Like I mentioned, Jets, Lions, Jets really need to figure it out. Cowboys, Jags. I think that's got a little interesting dynamic to it too. I think that's could play spoiler, some upset maybe to that. Some people thinking that. Nick DeVosta, how about them Cowboys? Nice little interesting one. We'll get a little bit more into them as we move over to our picks in the next few minutes. But interesting point here out of Scooby. I don't know how much I believe that Pat's top 5 defense. I know Jared's kind of scoffing at that. I think their defense is very good. I think, off the top of my head, I'd say Cowboys defense is better. Bills defense is better. Why am I blanking? Cowboys, Bills.
I'll give it the Eagles.
Eagles defense is better. For some reason, I want to say
I think it
Eagles,
is, Josh. I don't know.
I don't know. I think with the Patriots, their thing is they beat up on a lot of bad teams. Like, my thing is if their defense was a top 5 defense, they would be able to slow down guys like Josh Allen. I know everybody's gonna come in here and say, oh, it's a divisional game, and no defense is gonna slow down Josh Allen. But there's been times I've seen this Patriots defense get absolutely annihilated, and I don't want to be this Patriot killer, and I don't want to be this Patriot hater, but I think we get confused sometimes because we see how well the defense performs in one game. That Jets game, they rattled off however many sacks. This game as well, they had 6 or 7. So they're very... And Dallas can be similar as well before everybody gets at me for that. But I think we look at a lot of these games from Judon, Uche. They have these monster games in one game against guys like the Jets, who their offense is a bottom-level team. They played the Colts with Sam Ehlinger, as Jared has mentioned. They just played the Cardinals with Colt McCoy. I'm not being a hater, but teams like the Dolphins or the Bills, Who else? We've seen the Bears carve up their defense, and I know teams from week to week have off days, but I don't know about top 5 defense. I think they're a young emerging defense. I think they're top 10. I think the stats may show that they're a top 10, top 5 defense, but I don't think so. That's just how I feel. I think once you start to see the end of the season, they probably will beat the Raiders this week, but they got another doozy against the Dolphins. They got another doozy against the Bills. So I think it's more of just a matter of the teams that they've played against. I hate to kind of use that. But, to Jared's point, I think beating up on bad teams. I think the 49ers have a better defense as well. They kind of slipped under my eyes there. And the Steelers as well, Ben. I know that you guys played them when you guys weren't as off to the... See, again, I feel like all these teams that I've named are, terribly ranked offensive teams. The Jets, I know, are not that good of an offensive team. Steelers were probably one of the worst offensive teams. Colts as well. So, to each their own. I don't think they're a top 5 defense. I think they're a top 10. I think they have a lot of good emerging young players like Josh Uche. Marcus Jones looks really good. But, yeah, sorry. Little tangent there, but I would not say top 5 defense. Sorry, Scooby. Defense is solid, but not top 5. My opinion.
I'm going to have to give it to him, Josh. I don't know. I'm going to have to give him that 5. I think they sneak it into that 5th spot as we're thinking as I'm looking at some of these ones. But shout out to Jared and Nick for that one reminding us of San Fran.
The Jets as well. I think the Jets have a better defense.
But... Yeah, that one was... No, that's a good point. That's what they were throwing in there too, Josh, Jared. And I think Jared threw that one in there as well. That's what I was thinking too for that top 5, but I forgot about San Fran. San Fran's obviously number 1. Then, Eagles, Cowboys. I forget who we already had the 4th. There was somebody else there, but I got them sitting at the 5th. I think they're better than the Jets at this moment. And listen, they're better than the Steelers defense. The secondary is awful, to say the least. Mink has to do everything. Pass rush isn't really there unless Highsmith or Watt really gets there. So they got better defense than the Steelers. I think they sneak up that 5th spot, Josh. I really do. This defense is solid for them. I hate to say it. I like their second. I don't know why everybody's making fun of the secondary. The secondary gets the job done. You're saying mid-tier. That's all right, mid-tier. It's better than the Steelers tier. So I'm going to put it there. But I mean, you got a couple good young guys, and both Joneses, Marcus and Jack. Marcus getting his first pick last night. Jack's been solid all year. McCourty, I know he's getting up there in age and everything, but he still produces. Judon's just a beast. That defensive line gets after it. They just, Bill is just a defensive mind. That's what he does. And I agree with Scooby and the other one. They got to get rid of Patricia. It's another Steelers problem, too. Offensive coordinator. The DC, I don't know if Scooby could make better play calls. I'd like to see that, actually. I'd like to see Scooby call plays for the Patriots just as a little test between the two. Let's see if he can outcoach Patricia. But I think he could, actually. But they just got to switch that up. You just can't have the DC there. Same with the Steelers. Not the DC, but just get rid of Canada. He stinks. And we just kind of see it's just the same problem with both teams. We got to just see more deep balls down the field. Just watching the game with everybody, everyone's saying that, deep balls. You feel like you never say, you never see Mac Jones going that long, or never see some of these go on these long routes. It's always something to the sideline or under the middle, we'll dump off. You're not letting them loose. So I'd like to see that. But I'm going to put them top 5 defense. I know Jared. Listen, come on, Jared. Jared's just being listen. We can't be the Bills. We can't be the Bills defense. We're holding it. That's who the 4th was. I forgot the Bills in there. Listen, the Bills are on a different level. Different tier. He can't keep putting them up to that standard. But I think they sneak in that top 5.
I could see that. I see Jeff coming in here with another quick. We'll get to this, and then we'll get to some of our picks. Jeff saying Pat's best 2022 draft class.
I didn't see that.
I don't. I know a lot of people, they say the Marcus and Jack Jones. Cole Strange has been solid as well. But, yeah, I'm not sure about that. This is a better draft. And I think the Patriots, this is their biggest thing. And I think we're starting to see the issue when they play good teams. They don't have many skill players. They don't have many game breakers. They don't have many game breakers on the offensive side and on the defensive side. Yes, Judon is a game breaker. Yes, Uche is emerging, but they don't like. Judon has shown signs of going missing. Guys like Tyquan Thornton have shown spurts, and Ramondre Stevenson and Harris, and these guys are all cool, and Hunter Henry, Smith, like Kendrick Bourne. I can name as many guys, but they don't have one game changer on that team, I feel like. And I think that that's the biggest issue with the Patriots moving forward was got somebody named Tom Brady, and I hate to go there, was able to kind of make the most of a solid team, but they don't have that same quarterback anymore, and they definitely have an atrocious guy calling plays, which I can agree with. But I agree. The offense is full of role players and not studs, and that's why you see a record like 7-6, sole possession of last place. Or not anymore. I think they're third place now because they swept the Jets. But I think that's their biggest issue is they don't have a skill player, and I think moving forward now it's time to put the big boy pants on and pay a number one. They got that whole we don't have to pay a number one like scheme, or you don't have to draft a high class guy. That's done. You gotta have somebody out there who can be a proven number one, and I don't think you even have a number one out there. But I agree with Jeff here too. They went out, their most expensive offense in the NFL. They went out, spent a lot of money in 2020 or 2021. Didn't really work out. But there's time. This is a very favorable matchup coming up this week. We're going to move a little bit forward because we're running kind of short on time here. We still got a lot of games to get through. Let's start with this one. My Cowboys, 10-3, traveling in to play a sneaky Jaguars 5-8 team. They're pretty much out of it unless they somehow turn the tables and hope for a lot. But I think that this game does have a little bit of trap written all over it. We've seen Dak Prescott struggle a little bit. The defense kind of gets quiet in moments. Micah Parsons has been down. I think look to see Micah Parsons come back in this game. Look for maybe a sack and a half game. I say the Cowboys win in a low-scoring 23-16, 23-17 game. I think Trevor Lawrence and the boys can kind of keep things interesting because I do have to say I was impressed with that win last week, that beatdown. But I think Dallas should win this one. This is a must-win game. I saw what I needed to see out of that Texans game. A weird team. I think James said it perfectly. That was a weird game. I know it was closer than a lot of people, myself included, wanted it to be, but they were throwing the kitchen sink at you. They were just pulling all the stops out. They're a desperate team. Whatever. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. That's a Cowboys win that, looking back on some years, they don't come back and win. But I like the Cowboys in this 23-16, but could be another frustrating one to start for Dallas. But they get it done, 23-16.
Yeah, I agree, Josh. I agree. I think they got that trap game out of them last week. Texans, going for it on that fourth down too. That's a lot. It's just, instead of just going for the tie, they got nothing to lose. So kind of saw it on that one. But I think they got it out of their system now. The Cowboys. I don't think the Jags are going to have two performances like that. I don't know where Trevor Lawrence got that from last week. Of course, he does that when I'm playing him in fantasy. But I mean, I just don't think they're going to have that performance against the Cowboys. Going into Dallas, I believe. I got to double check that, but I mean,
to Jacksonville. That's why I think it can be a little more.
It's a little more. I think it'd be a little more, Josh, a little more intriguing. But I think overall, this Jags defense just isn't going to be able to keep up with those two running backs. Pollard is just running crazy now. Zeke in the action too. The wide receivers go crazy against the Jags. I feel like CD's going to have a big game. You're starting to see Gallup a little more comfortable in there. And hey, we didn't even talk about the TY acquisition. He'll be playing. Solid pickup from them. I totally forgot about TY. I love that pickup for them. Just another little veteran out there. Let's see what he can do. Let's see how much juice he's got left. Just another weapon for Dak, because Dak is under a lot of pressure. But I know people getting on him for some of those picks. Let's see, he got the job done. That's a tough Texas. That's a scrappy Texas team, like Josh was mentioning. They're throwing everything at him. He got the job done. That's it. So I think they get the job done in this one too. I'll go 30-17. I think they get control. I think it's early, close game early on, but I think the Cowboys just control with that run game. Unfortunately, again, I think big game for CD, even though I'm playing him in fantasy, but I think CD Lamb's going to go off, of course. So
Interesting, Ben. I will say one thing about Dak. Last year, I literally seen it on my Facebook. We were having the same conversation. He was struggling, pick heavy a little bit. It was right after he came back from that calf injury. So similar little trend here in Dak Prescott. Around the same time again, last year he was having struggles turning the ball over and the offense going through woes. Similar thing going on right now. Hopefully they get things off on the right foot. Signing T.Y. Hilton will help. Get C.D. Lamb involved. They try to. He's had a couple games off. But in James Washington, Dak threw him a couple good balls this week. He dropped a couple. Maybe get his legs a little fresh under him. Same as you mentioned as Gallup. It took him a little bit. Same for James Washington. So let's hope for the best. I know we both got Dallas winning that one. Let's move over to a game that's not interesting to some, but definitely to Ben. 5-8 Steelers going into Carolina. This is a very tough game. Remember, Carolina's still in the hunt here against the Bucks. Bucks play the Bengals this week. That is a very, very questionable game there for the Bucks to win. The Bucks lose that game and Panthers win. They're both 6-8. They play each other later in the season, adding a little intensity to it. But believe it or not, I like the Panthers in this one, Ben. I think at home, they're a sneaky good team at home. They play teams pretty tough. They got a weird, interesting little dynamic going on with the running backs. DJ Moore is explosive as he can always be. I think TJ Watt causes havoc, and we've seen how much of a game changer and team changer he is himself. But I don't think he gets the job done. I think seeing Mitch Berg, whatever happens there, I know Kenny Pickett out with the concussion.
Thanks.
He might be a little sluggish to come back if he starts or not. I'm going to play it safe. I liked what I saw out of Darnold, I guess. I think Panthers win this one. They're fighting for that division and sloppy game. I say they win 23. I'll say they win 20-13. Low scoring game for sure.
Yeah, Josh, tough one last week. Of course, when I want them to win, I start cheering for them. They lose. They blow that one, which could have kept us in the hunt. We're pretty much at it now. If we won last week, or this past week, I should say, would have been a game back of the Chargers and Pats for that wild card. But 2 games back now. It's not pretty. It's over. Let's look to the draft. Mock draft has us draft a nice little tackle, Paris Johnson. Need some offensive tackle help, I should say. So we need that. But I got the Steelers in this one, Josh. I can't ride with the Panthers. It's a scary one. Sam Darnold picking up the win over the Seahawks last week. So shout out to Darnold. He was looking good, Josh. He was looking good out there. Made some nice moves on his feet. Got some first downs that way. Throwing the ball well too, but I got the Steelers. It's bittersweet. I don't even know what to think of them anymore. Let's just keep the season moving. Whenever I want them to win, they don't. So it was just like, how do we not beat that third string quarterback? It just doesn't make sense to me. But Mitch Berg, that era is done. I don't know what that was this past week. He was just awful. Pretty tough to see Kenny go down like that, but let's just get him healthy and just I don't even know, Josh, if we should put him back in. Those pretty tough concussions. So I see Jeff coming in here. Clearly you signed with the Panthers. Probably got a lot of people on the Panthers, but I'll stick with the Steelers, Josh.
I like it. He's got the Steelers winning that one. Let's move on to 405. Interesting game. We got Josh McDaniels returning to town. Not really. It's in Las Vegas. But Patriots 7-6. Raiders just can't hold a game to save their lives. Interesting game. Patriots going to have all they can handle in Devontae Adams. Josh McDaniels has this one circled on his calendar. I like the Patriots in this. I think they get it done. Better coaching, and that's what it all comes down to. Josh McDaniels, just X's and O's is great. Offensive play caller. Bill Belichick probably knows him like the back of his hand. As a head coach, Josh McDaniels talking here isn't quite the guy to get it done. I think the Patriots need this one desperately. They're trying to stick place here with the Chargers, Jets, Bengals, Ravens, that whole little tier there. I think they get it done. 2 games over 500. Huge win last night. I mean, I cannot preface that anymore. But I'll say Patriots kind of light it up a little bit. I'll say 27-17. The Patriots win by 10. and they get the job done. Mac Jones in the dome too as well. He plays
Mac Jones.
better a little bit.
I don't know, Josh. We're going Raiders. We're going Raiders. A little surprise pick. I don't know. Like you said, Josh McDaniels got circled on his calendar. I don't think they have anybody to compete with Devontae, cover him. This Raiders team. I don't know how they lost it last week. They were supposed to still be in the hunt too. I kind of turned that game off, and then Baker Mayfield just had a fourth quarter comeback, fourth quarter drive, last drive comeback, I should say. Did not expect that. I just got a feeling, Josh. I really can't back the Raiders with anything because they kind of stink. Just got going into Las Vegas. I think Derek Carr and them get the job done. Josh McDaniels wants this one. It's a little scary, like having Bill coming to town, but I think the Raiders got it just with the offensive firepower over this defense. Patriots moving along the road, nice little road trip. I think it eventually catches up with them. Right here, I got the Raiders. Not so confident pick though.
I like it. There's not much to be confident about. They blow games like you wouldn't believe, too.
Yeah.
My lock of the week, I'll go quick.
Awful.
Hopefully it's not Ben's. This is a road team on the lock. It's the Texans, excuse me. Whoa. It's the Chiefs. They're playing the Texans. Texans, they like I said, they got this weird, interesting thing going on with Jeff Driscoll and Davis Mills. They're swapping him out. Driscoll's running. They're throwing everything in the kitchen sink at people. It's just not enough. They're battered with injuries. I think last week showed a little bit of fight. Battle of Texas. Cowboys played down to the competition. Patrick Mahomes in a dome. No chance. I think they roll. I'm very interested to see what the spread is. I think maybe they'll cover it. I'll say the Chiefs win 37-14. Thrashing. Absolute thrash. My lock of the week, Chiefs.
I like that one. A lot of locks of the week out there, Josh. I was looking at it, but I did not have that one too. Just want to let you know. I did not have that one. I got the Vikings over. It was your Vikings over the Colts. Yeah. That's just an easy one. The Colts are just awful right now. Coming into Minnesota squeaking a game away last week, I believe. It was a little tough one for them, but I think they're going to come back dominant right now. Colts just stink, Josh. I just want to make sure I actually know the Vikings lost last week. That's what it was. Vikings lost last week. That's what it was. I don't know why I thought it was misremember that one, but yeah, coming off that Lions loss. Pretty tough for them, not standing wise for the top of the NFC, not for the division, but Lions make that resurgence. I think the Vikings are going to come back down to earth on this one. Beat up on the Colts. I don't know why I thought the Vikings won this past week. That's why I was pretty upset with Dalvin Cook. So now it's starting to make sense. I was pretty upset with Dalvin Cook this past week. So I think Vikings bounce back. Colts are just awful. Colts just got to start looking for the next quarterback. Get Matty Ice out of there. Draft pick. And I know they have him drafted an offensive lineman. I don't know. Maybe you're going to have to revamp that line, Josh, but the Colts are just looking bad. I got Vikings as a lock.
So crazy to say, like, revamp the offensive line, which was probably one of the most emerging and star-studded offensive lines in the league. They went all out on that. Ryan Kelly, Quentin Nelson. There's a couple other guys I can't think of off the top of my head, but really, really weird to think about. Lock of the upsets for me have been like really, really tough to come by. Hopefully this isn't Ben's too, and I don't even know how much I feel about this one. Jeff Lyons, Pat Super Bowl, that'd be funny. I guess Seahawks. They're at home, divisional game. I still think the 49ers win the division, but I think the Brock Purdy thing kind of comes down to life a little bit. I will say Mr. Irrelevant's been balling out. But the Seahawks are a stingy team. Talk about draft class. Seahawks killed it. Kenneth Walker. That kid, they got that kid Tariq Woolen. They've got the linebacker Nwosu, number 11. Just a bunch of solid players all around. Tyler Lockett's been unbelievable. Pete Carroll, tip of the cap to him, making things happen with guys like Geno Smith under the helm, who's having a very resurgent year. I think that 49ers defense, arguably the best defense in the league, maybe if not the best defense in the league, but they're going into the 12th man. I think Seattle wins this one, upset, close game. Geno Smith's got to play good for them to do that, but I'll say that they win 2017, close game. yeah, Brock Purdy shows a little bit of why he was drafted last in the draft. Sorry, Brock, but yeah, upset
No,
of
I
the
like
week.
that one too. I like that one too, Josh. My upset I already said. I got the Raiders. Raiders, I'm looking at them. We'll look at this slate. That was another good one too from Josh right there. I like that upset. I believe me and Josh hit both our upsets last week. I had the Jags and I forget who Josh. Josh actually had the Lions last week. I mean Josh had both of them right there, Jags, Lions. So I like that with him from right there with the Seahawks, but I got a weird feeling about the Raiders. So I'm gonna go with them right there. And Jeff's 10-win model is still very intact for the Patriots, so gotta give him that one. And I don't know about that Lions Patriots Super Bowl, but that'd be pretty interesting.
For sure, for sure. Jared Goff, I don't know. They saying
Uh,
he might be the quarterback moving forward. He's been all right.
doesn't
They're
look
getting
bad.
Jameson Williams back. They still got. They're a team that they're
DJ
like,
Shark.
yeah, maybe just another stud on defense, like in the secondary or like a linebacker away from like really kind of making that next step. I'm not sold on Jared Goff. I think he can get it done,
Yeah,
but yeah, I like that one, Ben. And yeah, that was my pick last week. The Lions. I know you didn't take them this week. You're taking the Raiders. I like it. He's got a weird feeling. He's all in. He thinks
weird
McDaniel's
feeling.
revenge tour. That maybe that's his Super Bowl of the year because they're not getting
Yeah,
into
to be honest.
playoffs. However, yeah, go Cowboys. Trap game written all over that. Aaron Judge is staying in New York. Completely I had to bring that up. I don't know if we talked about that last week, but he's staying in New York. Bogart's gone. Had to throw those ones out there. Shout out to
Most definitely.
Ronaldo, the goat. Yeah. Before I turn it over to Ben, I think I'm all in on France. So let's go France and shout out Mbappe.
Yeah, it's a tough one for Bogarts. We all saw it coming. Padres just throw money at everybody. That lineup is going to be tough next year. Let's see if they can stay healthy though, and if they can actually get it together. But just keep Devers, everybody. Just keep Devers. That's all I ask this front office to do. I wish they probably won't because they don't want to pay anybody. But it's Josh stuck with the World Cup. I'm going to end with this one. Go Argentina.